Okay, I am recording. So this is the Start Strong call. We do this at the Sunday before we start a challenge, just to touch base, see if anybody has any questions, and sort of answer some common questions that we get asked a lot to make sure that you guys are ready to rock tomorrow. So if you're on this call now, or if you pop on at any time and you want to ask a question, feel free to take yourself off mute and ask it, or you can go in the chat section at the bottom and type in your question there. We'll keep an eye on that too. So whatever makes you more comfortable. I think Erin's going to kick it off with sort of some logistics and what's going to happen starting tomorrow.
All right, awesome. Nice to see you guys here. And for those of you, I know a lot of people couldn't make it today because it's Sunday and it's a family day and everybody has things going on. So I hope you catch this recording before we start tomorrow. Ultimately, by now you should have received your invitation to join our challenge group in our private app. Please know that this group is completely private. So only those in this challenge group will see what you write there, will see what you post. Nothing will be shared from there on social media. You don't need to post anything outside from this group. It's confidential, it's just us. It's for us to get to know each other and for us to encourage each other and help each other get through the next 21 days, all right? So feel free and please lean into this group because that's what it's there for, right? And to start off, if you've been going through the prep material for the last week, you should have seen all the posts. Courtney put all these awesome posts in there with videos, information, tools, tips, everything. So if you can go into those prep week group posts, watch the videos, print off the tools, get yourself ready because it's really useful information. Today, she also posted a welcome post to get to know you. So if you haven't done so already, please go into the app, look over all the program materials, the prep stuff, and introduce yourself so that we can start to get to know each other. All right, one of the many first things, if you haven't yet already done so, please be sure to log into Beachbody On Demand and go into the program that you're going to be doing. Now, a lot of women, I believe the majority are doing the new 21 Day Fix real-time program. So if you're doing that, you'll go into the 21 Day Fix program, print off the program materials, which is where you'll find all your nutrition information. The program information will help you to calculate how you're going to be eating over the next few weeks. If you're like me and you like to have materials, I print all that stuff off and go through it really closely. I really recommend doing that. And one thing that you'll need to make note of is depending on what program you're going to be doing, it will outline what accessories you need. So if you are doing 21 Day Fix, you'll need some weights. So make sure you have everything in preparation so that tomorrow when you start, you're set off for success and you have everything you need. So for the 21 Day Fix, typically we start with like 5, 8, 10 pound weights. So make sure you have those, all right? One last thing, Court, can you mute everybody? One last thing is to make sure that you have taken your before pictures and measurements, okay? So I know this is really shitty and daunting task, and for some of you who may not be in your goal place right now, taking the before pictures is like, oh God, never, all right? Don't worry, you don't need to share these, you don't need to post these, but make sure you take them for you because in 21 days, maybe the scale might actually not move that much. But then when you look at your picture of before and after, you'll see how far you've come, and really it's an opportunity for you it's like motivation and encouragement for you. So take that picture, keep it on your hard drive, keep it to yourself, whatever, but make sure you take it because 21 days from now, it'll be super encouraging and motivating and you'll be so proud to see how far you've come. And without those pictures, sometimes it's hard to see, all right? Because mentally, we get stuck on what's on the scale, but really it's so much more than that. So please do yourself a favor and take those pictures, okay? So what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow, our first day, we have to Beachbody On Demand and stream your workout through Beachbody On Demand. Now, I know a lot of people either stream it on their laptop, their computer. If you have Apple TV, you can do it on Apple TV or just on your phone, but stream your workout. Find a place in your house that you can do it. Even if it's in your TV room, push over the coffee table. Make sure you're set up at the place where you can do your workout and be set up for that, right? So you'll log into Beachbody On Demand and do your workout. After your workout, this is when you're going to log into our Challenge Tracker app and connect with the group. The Beachbody On Demand workout should link with the Challenge Tracker app. So it should recognize that you've done a workout. If it doesn't, that's okay. Just hit on the plus and you'll be able to add your workout there. Make sure you hit you can add a sweaty selfie or a picture of how exhausted or miserable you are after the workout, and then hit the share with the group picture so everybody else can see that you've done it and we can all encourage each other throughout that. Now, after you post your workout, try and connect with the other ladies. Say congrats, way to go, keep going. Like, the more we encourage each other, the better this group feels, and the more encouraging it is. Like, there's nothing better than smashing a workout and having some stranger woman being like, girl, you killed it. Like, it's such an awesome feeling. So be that person to somebody else, and somebody else will be that person to you. I just want to make sure, if I wasn't clear before, I know that Courtney and me and the other coaches on here, we're all out there on social media with this, but doesn't mean you need to be. You can be as private or as public about this challenge as you want. I will say, being open on social media for me helps me to keep accountable to it. If you're open to that, go for it. We will cheer you on as well, but there is absolutely no requirement to do that. You say hi? Hi. So that's what you should have for tomorrow. I know Courtney's going to go over some specific questions that are common.
Hey guys, okay, just in time for my son to start melting down. Hold on one sec. Come here, Rad. Come here. Okay, so I am going to go over some questions that I get asked a lot for people that are starting up, and then like I mentioned, if anybody has any other questions, please type them in the chat or take yourself off mute. I'd be happy to answer them. Come here, Rad. Okay, number one, what happens when you go out? So, guys, come here. You want to sit with mom? You want to sit here? Yes or no? Going out, honestly, this is one of those things that you just have to make a decision before you start this program and sort of decide ahead of time. That's up to you. What is going to happen when you go out? Because I know for a fact that every single restaurant nowadays will accommodate you, can accommodate this program, will accommodate your goals. There is zero eliminations on this nutrition plan. So you have every opportunity to stay on plan. Like, at every restaurant you go to, you're going to be able to get like chicken and some sort of full gain carb and vegetables, right? So I think when it comes to going out, you really just need to get in the mindset and decide ahead of time what your plan is. If you're going to stay on this, or if you're going to allow yourself those little allowances to get you off track. And, you know, this is going to go with a lot of the questions that I get, a lot of the common questions that I get. This is going to come down to your decision and how seriously you are going to take this program. I know before I started my first Beachbody program, after I was probably like 5 months postpartum with my second, I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I was living in a stranger's body, and I was about to start 80-day obsession, and I was I was in tears the night before I started, because I knew I was going all in, and I knew the magnitude of that decision. I knew the sacrifices that were ahead of me because I was making that decision. And it was a longer program. It was 80 days, and I was mentally preparing myself to go all in, because I looked at my husband that night before, I'll never forget, and I said, I could lose 30 pounds if I do this. Like, if I actually committed to this and went all in, I know that I would lose 30 pounds. And I did. And it was tough along the way, and there were a lot of choices. I remember meeting up with a friend, and she was like, why can't you just have one glass of wine? Like, what's the big deal? And it wasn't a big deal. I could have one glass of wine. One glass of wine, guys, 4 ounces of wine is equal to 1 yellow container. So if you want to make those trade-outs, you can absolutely include wine into this plan. But for me, it was a slippery slope, and I went with the 0 for the entirety of that program. But these are all going to be choices that you can make. Another common question I get is like, what if my husband's not supportive? And like, not supportive, there's a lot of different levels of that. But like, for me, not supportive means like he doesn't really eat on plan. I know my husband, like, you know, I can cook a healthy dinner, but then like he's out eating whatever he wants during the day or a weekend or whatever. You really need to separate the people in your lives choices and your goals, because I think it becomes really easy on Sunday when we're sitting on the couch to think like, oh, my husband's eating this, and like, really, like, he's the person I'm like trying to like look good for anyway, like, who cares if he's eating this, I can eat this. Like, you really need to change the mindset and recognize that you're doing this for you. You're not doing this for anybody else but you. And that's just a fact. Nobody gives a shit what we look like but us. This is all a personal journey, right? And your husband's decisions are not going to get you anywhere closer to your goals, or your kids' grilled cheese crusts, or any of that stuff. For real. It took me a long time to throw those fucking crusts in the garbage, you know? But these are the things that you're going to start, and it's going to be trial and error. And I guarantee that you might on day 4, like, cave and do this, and you're going to wake up on day 5 and feel like shit and regret that decision. And this will be a learning curve. And I'm not saying that everybody in this group needs to go all in. You could be like a super fit, already have abs, doing this for a challenge. You go, girl. Like, you know, everybody's on a different journey, but I'm really speaking to somebody that needs this and has a lot of weight to lose and really needs to focus, because we are totally here for you. And so many of us have been there and want to make sure you're supported along this journey. Did you want to say something, Erin?
Yeah, I think what's crazy is that when you and I both started this, you had bigger weight loss goals than I did. For me, it was more, I just wanted to see what would happen if I actually tried. You know, I feel like I've been blessed in that I can eat whatever, drink whatever, and I never got huge. I never felt fat. But at the same time, I was never strong. And I feel like I never had abs. I never had muscles, you know? And I was at a point where I was like, maybe if I actually tried this, maybe if I didn't give up, I would actually see something. Maybe there would actually be a difference in my life if I committed to something and didn't give up this time. Maybe I could actually make a change in my life. And it was that light bulb moment of, maybe if I actually give this a go, something different will happen, right? Like, nothing different happens if you keep doing the same thing all the time. And I just didn't know. I didn't know what could come of it. And now looking back, that choice of, hey, maybe I'll see what happens and see where I go from there. It's okay. It's just the coolest feeling ever to now look back and be like, damn, I really could have if I wanted to years ago, right? It's just a decision. It's a decision to want it, right?
And it's almost like, I dare you to see what your body can do in 21 days, you know? Because it's pretty freaking cool if you do. I did want to touch on one thing Erin mentioned about the weight. She's like, oh yeah, you know, start with 5, 8, 10. When I started this, there was a lot of moves. I didn't use the weight, like the modifier in there. Sometimes she's weightless. Sometimes, and then when I did start using, I was using 3 and 5 pound weights. So don't be discouraged if you cannot use weights in this program in the beginning, but I guarantee you by week 2, you'll be able to use at least a 3 pound weight. So everybody's going to be different where you start. If you're super strong already, I still go by that 5, 8, 10, because you're doing each move for a minute, and that's a lot different than if you're just doing something for like 10 reps. Yeah, that was just sort of a side note on those weights. A couple just little common questions I get about the plans. So hopefully you guys have all calculated which plan you're in, A, B, C, D, E. I met with a woman last week who has a huge weight loss goals, and she ended up falling in C, but she was sort of close to the cusp, and I recommended to her she go down to B, because she wanted to be aggressive with her weight loss, and B is still a lot of food. So if you are in between a plan and you want to connect with somebody, with one of us or with your coach who added you, to figure out if you should bump down, then do that. If you are breastfeeding, bump up, because you need the extra nutrients. Shakeology. That's something I wanted to talk about. Guys, when I started this, I got that protein powder in the mail, protein powder. I hated it. I shook it up with 8 ounces of water and I chugged it down, and it was like a job for me. The shift came when I started blending it. Guys, blend it. It's enjoyable. Like with ice, I do the chocolate with ice, almond milk, and sometimes a scoop of peanut butter and half of a frozen banana, and it's actually delicious. So it's not a meal replacement. It is one of your proteins throughout the day. It's a great one to have on your way to work, like, or a mid-morning snack, or right after your workout if you're not able to eat breakfast right away. So I really encourage you to figure out where in your day you're going to be drinking that and be consistent with it. If you haven't already looked in the file section, there are blank meal templates for figuring out your meal plan. Do I have one here? This one is so good, guys. And I put this in my kitchen. Like, I'll put like 2 samples of this and put it in my kitchen so that on days where I'm getting squirrely and I'm like potentially going to go off track, I just look at that and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good afternoon snack, or this is what I'm having for lunch, because I know I've prepped that food, it's in the fridge and it's ready to eat. I also print my food lists and I keep them inside a cupboard. If you have a spouse that's super involved in cooking, this is a great way to get them involved. Put it inside the cupboard so that they know what foods are approved and what foods aren't. Yeah, it's sort of like the basic questions that I get asked a lot. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if Erin, you have anything to add.
Hi. How do you get through the stress eat or the stress wine? Erin knows what I mean.
I replace it with something else. I would try, like, because ultimately it's a habit, right? It's like, I've had a bad day. And the other thing is, like, I deserve this. And it's a mental shift of my body deserves better. My body doesn't actually deserve the shit that I'm going to give it. Instead, my body deserves better. So I replace with some sort of like sparkly water, to be honest, or a tea, or even if you feel like at the end of the day you need a stress relief, maybe put your workout at the end of the day, go for a walk, something like that. I also am of a firm believer of not keeping it in the house if I don't trust myself, because it's too easy that way. Also lean into the group in the times when you're like, oh God, guys, help, lean in, and so you can get like some support that way. But I would really try to commit to not doing it for the 21 days and really seeing what your body can do from that.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if that's already a thing in your head, you're probably best to eliminate, because I don't know about you, but like, if I have an open bottle of wine in the house that's sitting there, I almost like guilt myself into drinking it because it's going to go bad, right? And yeah, it just becomes a slippery slope. Like, one glass leads to, oh, now I'm like snacking, leads to, oh, I'm like not feeling the best in the morning. Like, if you do, I don't know at what level, like if you're having a glass every night or 2 glasses or 3 glasses every night, but like, you might be surprised at how fresh you're waking up without it. You know? I don't know if everyone thought.
Before I did this, Nicole, I drank wine every single night. Every night I would come home and I'd be like, oh, I deserve this. I've had such a hard day. I deserve this. And I pretty much stopped cold turkey. I got it out of the house. And now, like, I still drink on occasion, but I think about it when I'm doing it before, instead of doing it as a routine. But really it's stepping outside of that routine and that habit and choosing that you deserve better.
We are doing a habit challenge in our free community this month. And I'm going to grab this sheet. We basically have had people choose a new habit, and and track for 30 days trying to complete it. And so we've given these little sheets, and it's basically like put it somewhere in your house that you see every single day and check off every single day. So we've encouraged people to like drink a glass of water, make your bed, things like that. But if there is something more pressing in your life that's weighing on you that you think might hold you back from your goals, I'm going to post this in the group, because honestly, for me, I am doing something more impactful in my life, and I'm putting it on my mirror. And at the end of the day, right before I go to bed, I'm checking off. Like last night, I checked off day 3, and honestly, I'm proud of myself. And I'm going to get to 30 days, and that's going to mean something. And hopefully by then, that will be my habit created, you know? So if that helps anybody for any sort of habit in their life that they want to eliminate or create, I'll post that in the group.
What about if you guys wanted to touch on a little bit? I know when I first started the Beachbody programs, most of the programs they talk about energize or recover or hydrate and stuff like that. And it can get a little bit overwhelming sometimes when you're looking, it's like, gee, do I really need to drink all of these different things? And so I didn't know if that was something where, I know myself, I really enjoy energize, but I tend not to use the rest, and everybody has a different preference.
Yeah, I would say start small. Like, you don't need to take everything on all at once. Whatever your package comes with, whether you chose to get Shakeology or the Performance line, stick with it. If you got the Shakeology, I would really recommend having it every single day for 30 days so you can truly see how it affects your gut health, how it affects your energy, how it affects your mental like clarity. Like, I would really take it every single day to see the benefits, to see if it's worthwhile for you long term to continue taking it. Same with the Performance line. If you got your energy, energize, and recover, I would use it for the full 21 days of this program. Have the energize before your workout, and then take the recover afterwards, especially if you're new to working out. That will really help with your muscle recovery. These things are all going to help you, no doubt, but you don't need to do all of them. You certainly don't need all of it all at once. A lot of us are obviously starting this for the first time. It's just getting into things, right? So you do what you can, use what you can. And if whatever you got in your package, I would use it, right? Because it came with it for a reason, and try and use it to its full benefit, but don't feel like you need everything all at once. I know when I first started, I really just focused on the workouts. It wasn't for a little while until I got really into Shakeology. Now I drink it every single day. And same with the Performance line. It comes slowly as you get a little bit more into it and you care more about the actual results.
I do think so. Like, Energize was such a game changer for me. Like, I started using it probably 30 days in, and I was like, whoa, like, it really gives you a boost in your workout. So maybe, because I know a lot of people get Shakeology with their original pack. So maybe what I'll do is, like, each week in the 3 weeks to start strong, we'll do some sort of like best participant, like best challenger, like who showed up the most, who cheered on the most, and I'll split a package of a sample of Energize in the mail for that person each week. So, hi, buddy.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, if there aren't any other questions.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's keep it short. We'll post this recording, and if you're watching this as a recording and you have any questions, comment below, and we're happy to answer them. And just can't wait to see you guys over the next 21 days. I will say the people that get the best results are the ones that show up in this group, because on day 7, when you don't want to show up, but you showed up for 6 days, you're going to feel like people are going to notice if you don't, and you're going to feel guilty, and you're going to feel the power of the accountability, which is the magic of this group. So lean in, show up for yourself, and show up for the other women in this group. Program works if you work the program. Have an awesome Sunday, guys. Yes.